Ethan Carter believed love was supposed to feel safe. For 10 years, Claire Bennett had been the center of his world. He remembered every little thing about her. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear when nervous, the soft smile she gave strangers, and the silence she carried whenever someone mentioned her past. Ethan had spent 7 years secretly loving her before she finally agreed to date him. 2 years later, she proposed marriage herself. Everyone thought they were the perfect couple. Claire came from one of the wealthiest families in Seattle, while Ethan built his career from nothing. Their marriage looked stable, elegant, and admired from the outside. But during their third wedding anniversary dinner, Ethan noticed something he could not ignore. Claire received a message on her phone. She smiled. Not the polite smile she gave him every day. Not the tired smile she wore at family events. This smile was alive, warm, real. And Ethan suddenly realized he had never once seen her smile like that at him. That night, while Claire showered, Ethan looked at the message lighting up her screen. "Welcome back to Seattle. I missed you too." The sender's name was Ryan, the man Claire once called the love of her life. Ethan tried convincing himself he was overthinking things. Claire had never cheated before. At least, not that he knew of. But over the following weeks, everything changed. Claire suddenly cared more about her appearance. She stayed out later after work. She answered calls quietly on the balcony at night. Sometimes Ethan woke up at 2 a.m. and found her staring at old photos on her phone. One evening, Olivia visited Ethan's apartment unexpectedly. "You look exhausted," she said. Ethan forced a smile. "Work." Olivia studied him carefully. "Or Claire?" He stayed silent. That silence was enough. A few days later, Ethan followed Claire for the first time in his life. He hated himself for doing it, but his chest felt heavier every day. Claire parked outside a small cafe near the waterfront. Ryan Mitchell was waiting for her. Ethan watched from across the street as Claire ran toward him. She hugged him immediately. Not casually, not politely. Like someone finally returning home. Ryan laughed softly before brushing her hair away from her face. Ethan felt his heartbeat slow in the worst possible way. Because in that moment, he understood something terrifying. He had spent 10 years loving a woman whose heart had never truly belonged to him. Claire returned home that night, pretending nothing happened. She asked Ethan how work was going. She heated leftover pasta. She sat beside him on the couch while answering emails. It all looked normal, but Ethan could no longer see their marriage the same way. For years, he ignored the emotional distance between them. Claire rarely initiated affection. She avoided serious conversations about children. Whenever Ethan planned romantic trips, she seemed distracted. Now the truth felt obvious. Claire had married him because Ryan left, not because she truly chose Ethan. At midnight, Ethan finally asked, "Did you meet Ryan today?" Claire froze. Her expression changed instantly. "How do you know?" she whispered. "I saw you." Claire stood up immediately. "It's not what you think." Ethan laughed bitterly. "Then explain the way you looked at him." Claire looked away. That hurt more than any confession. "He came back after years," she said quietly. "I just wanted closure." "Closure?" Ethan repeated. "You smiled at him like he was the happiest thing that ever happened to you." Claire's silence filled the apartment. And for the first time since marrying her, Ethan felt completely alone while sitting beside his own wife. 2 days later, Claire's father invited them to dinner. Daniel Bennett controlled one of the biggest investment companies in the city, and he had never fully respected Ethan. To him, Ethan was simply the hardworking man lucky enough to marry into wealth. During dinner, Daniel noticed the tension immediately. "What's going on between you two?" he asked. Claire answered quickly. "Nothing." Ethan stared at his wine glass. Ryan's name suddenly appeared on Claire's phone again. Daniel noticed Ethan noticing. "Who's Ryan?" he asked sharply. Claire looked uncomfortable. "An old friend." Ethan finally spoke, her ex-boyfriend. The room turned silent. Daniel's expression darkened. "Claire, it's not serious," she insisted. Ethan looked at her carefully. "Then why are you hiding it?" Claire stood up angrily. "Because you're making it sound wrong, isn't it?" Ethan asked. Daniel slammed his hand on the table. "Enough." But Ethan suddenly realized something important. No one in that family cared about his feelings. They only cared about appearances. On the drive home, Claire cried quietly. Ethan kept his eyes on the road, and somewhere between the silence and the rain hitting the windshield, a terrifying thought entered his mind. Maybe loving someone for 10 years still wasn't enough to make them love you back. For an entire week, Ethan barely slept. He replayed every moment of their relationship repeatedly. Every excuse Claire made, every lonely anniversary, every emotional wall he pretended not to notice. Then came the final blow, one evening. Claire accidentally left her tablet unlocked on the kitchen counter. Ethan saw messages between her and Ryan. "I used to wonder what life would look like if you never left," Ryan replied. Instantly. "I never stopped thinking about you either." Ethan felt physically sick. Claire walked into the kitchen and immediately realized what happened. "Ethan, how long?" he interrupted. "It's emotional, not physical." Ethan laughed painfully. "Do you really think that makes it better?" Claire looked genuinely conflicted, and somehow that hurt even more. Because she wasn't choosing him, not completely, not naturally, not without hesitation. Ethan slowly removed his wedding ring. Claire's eyes widened. "Don't do this." He looked at her with exhausted eyes. In the 7th year of loving you, you asked me to marry you, he said quietly. Claire started crying. In the 3rd year of marriage, Ethan continued, I'm asking for a divorce.